CNBC on Monday for Trans Day Visibility, and I would like you, as a member of Congress, to rise up and support LGBTQ plus youth and stop this fucking insane attack on our children who know who they are.
Number one,
no. Of course you're not, because you're a fascist. You're a trace. You're a race traitor, and you're a fascist.
I said I don't agree, and then you start yelling at me. You call me a fascist. You call me a race traitor, and you want me to agree with you? What are you talking about, ma'am? I'm a constitutionalist. Ma'am, I'm a constitutionalist. I believe in freedom and liberty for everybody. I believe in the U.S. Constitution. I believe in everybody's citizen rights. But if I don't agree, hold on. But when I don't agree with you, then all of a sudden I'm fascist. That's what's wrong. If all you want to do is yell and scream and curse when I don't agree with you, I'm sorry, ma'am. You are now in the 20% of America.
You don't need to worry, because you will never get my vote, and you don't live here.
I'm going to be your governor. Trust me.
You're not. No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. Okay, so Nicole, this is what we're talking about. You can't have a rational conversation with these people. No,
there's not, especially people who've taken the day off to come out in the middle of the afternoon to protest about a protest, and then call the people who show up to the protest dirty names. You know, there's just a certain segment of the population, and you hear Byron tell her that you're part of the 20%, right? The 80% of America's got it. You're part of the 20%, and I'm not going to waste any more time. We also saw Senator Jim Banks, maybe last week. You know, he's rushing in the Senate to go to do the business that he was elected to do, and he's accosted in the hallway by some guy who was fired by HHS and his merry band of other fired people. Trying to get a soundbite or go viral. Well, boy, did he get a soundbite.
Yes, he did.
He got a soundbite and a half. And then I think yesterday, Senator Banks doubled down on it. He was like, look, a clown is a clown is a clown is a clown. You know, play with me. You deserve to be fired, sir. They created a job for you to serve no purpose. And you can't believe that. Yeah, you're a clown. Doors closed.
Did you see how the elevator doors closed like perfectly? Yeah. Okay.
You know, they hit him with that meme where they put the
curtain call.
Like, hey. So there are a lot of leftists who are doing what they think they're doing to quote unquote resist or strike a blow. And all they're doing is race baiting. All they're doing is trying to agitate. They want him to say something that's going to be so egregious that they can smear it and slap it all over everything. But what she doesn't know is that Byron is a professional. He's absolutely professional. He's been on both sides of that argument, right? He's been the guy out protesting. He's been the young man that needed a helping hand. And now he's on the upswing. And he's like, listen, I'm going to be your governor. You better get used to me. You better get used to it.
Yeah. Shelley, what are your thoughts on that exchange? I mean,
I'm still trying to figure out what the argument was about, or was supposed to be about. Something about LGBTQ, whatever, the alphabet people. That's number one. I want people to get definitions correct, at least understand what it is you are arguing for or against. I'm sick of these people, mostly on the left, who call everyone a fascist, a dictator, a tyrant. They don't even know what the meanings are. They don't understand what fascism is or what a fascist is. You are representing what a fascist is when you want the state to back and support everything that you advocate for, and you think that that's what's supposed to happen. But I don't understand that. These people are loony. They are nutty. I think they're dangerous to a large degree. But Byron, again, it was no sense of arguing, really, because she wasn't out there to have a civil debate, informative debate. Even if she walked away disagreeing, that's not what she was there for. She was there because the cameras were rolling. She had her signs up, and she wanted all that on. And this went around the world in an hour, whatever. I mean, it's stupid. It's foolish. Like you said, in the middle of the day, these people have nothing better to do than to go out and call people names that they don't even understand what the meaning of the words are.
The wonderful thing about it is it did go around the world, but it didn't get the buzz that she thought it was going to get. You know, when you take a look at the visuals, if you turn the sound off and just take a look at the visuals, you see a well-dressed Black man who's running for governor of that state. So you have that in your mind. And you see this unhinged, unwashed woman holding a bunch of signs, shaking her hand and her fist at him, and he's standing his ground. If nothing says Republican more than that, man, we should slap that on a t-shirt and sell it across this great nation. This is a man who's standing his ground. And it doesn't matter how much you yell, how much you scream, the temper tantrums you throw, the color you make your hair. America is going to be American. And we're going to stand on it. You can be just as crazy as you want to. We're not going to fold for you. We're just not. Those days are well behind us. It was a good look for Byron.
It was a great look. Tyrone, what are your thoughts on that exchange? I mean, do you think this is driven by the media's misinformation and their propaganda and bias against President Trump and MAGA?
I tell you, even though mainstream media is in its death throes, they're still pretty influential because there's a large portion of the population that has been convinced that it's a bad thing to force the government to be better stewards of their taxpayer dollars. Okay. You've got people who are driving up to Tesla protest in Mercedes Benz and BMWs. Okay. And if you don't know what I'm referring to, there are pictures of a man with a little mustache riding around
of Mercedes Benz
in Volkswagens. And it's like, man, this is some bizarre
no idea
stuff. Okay. So and then when you do have these occasional man on the street interviews that actually try to delve into why these people are out there, none of them ever had, I won't say none. I did see one guy. He wasn't at a protest. He was just a random guy. And he was a classical liberal. And he was not unhinged. He was able to articulate himself. He was not mean-spirited. And I'm like, damn. And he said, well, yeah, in many ways, today's Democrat Party is unrecognizable from the one that I joined. And it was an older gentleman. Looked like somebody that came up through the like Kennedy years. So he was like, yeah, but he was measured. He was thoughtful. But by and large, that's not what you're finding at all. You're finding people that are looking a lot like some folk who drove around in Mercedes Benzes in the 30s, the 1930s. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.